Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over snapshotting and invincibility frames. Using these abilities, I was able to climb to floor 12-3 of the Spiral Abyss. These are key mechanics anyone can do. All you need to do is optimize your playstyle a bit. First, I'm going to explain snapshotting, its mechanics and how it works, and then I'm going to go into invincibility frames. Snapshotting is basically a mechanic in all RPGs. Whenever your character is about to fire off ability, it will look at its current attack to decide how much damage that ability should deal. But what happens if a buff is applied to your current character and then you use your ability? So if your ability's duration is longer than the buff, the ability won't go back to dealing less damage once the buff leaves the battlefield. It will keep the buff's power throughout the entire ability's duration. I'm going to be using Fischl and Bennett as a demonstration. In this scenario, I'm going to show you guys what happens if you use Bennett's attack buff after Fischl summons Oz. When Fischl summons Oz, crits deals about 6,233 damage. I'm going to resummon Oz, and then use Bennett's burst after summoning Oz. As you can see, her attack power has risen, and crits and non-crits will deal the same amount of damage as if Bennett buff wasn't applied. This is a clear result of snapshotting. Only stats at the time of casting is taken into account. Because the Bennett buff was applied after casting the ability, the Bennett buff that buffs our attack does not affect our damage in any way. Now the opposite is also true. In the next example, I'm going to use Bennett Burst and then Fischl's Oz. Using Bennett Burst and then summoning Oz, I will deal 9,240 damage as well. In the second example, the game is basically snapshotting the buff that is applied to Fischl and carrying that buff throughout Fischl's entire Oz duration. Snapshotting also works with multiple buffs, so you can have as many buffs as you can apply, snapshot them all at the same time, and still deal damage with all those buffs even after they expire. In this clip, I'm using Xiangling. As you can see, she is dealing 11,000 damage with her burst alone. As you see, in this next clip, I'm going to do a standard snapshot using Bennett's burst and Xiangling's ultimate ability.
Everybody stand back!
As you can see, her burst is dealing 19k damage. We know that Xiangling's burst ability was snapshot because after applying Bennett buff and using Xiangling's burst ability, I'm able to stand outside of Bennett's ultimate range and even dealing the same amount of damage after it disappears. Now I'm going to apply a Bennett burst buff and then a Barba buff with the Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers. And as you can see, Xiangling's burst ability does 20k damage. Same as before, we know the abilities are snapshot because I'm able to stand outside of Bennett's ultimate range after it leaves the battlefield.
Time to finish my work.
We can also confirm that the Barba buff was snapshot as well. The Thrilling Tales of Dragons buff only lasts for 10 seconds, and Xiangling's Pyronado buff lasts for 14 seconds. Because I have C6 on my Xiangling, her C4 increases Pyronado's duration for 40%. Next, I'm going to be going over what are invincibility frames. Invincibility frames are such portions in time where your character is immune to all sorts of damage, and these effects can be triggered by simple dashes or using characters' burst abilities. In the next clip, I'm going to be using my Xiao to fight a Ruin Guard, and I'm going to be dodging all of its attacks by dashing into the Ruin Guard attacks. This is not character specific, it can be pulled off with any character in the game. As you see, I should totally be getting hit by all these ruined guard attacks, but it seems that none of them are able to land unless I mistime my dash. This ability works with every single mob in the game, even including bosses. I'm going to run straight into all of the Electro Hypostasis abilities and attempt to not get hit, although my timing isn't the greatest. Just by dashing into the Electro Hypostasis, I'm able to dodge the drill and sidestep the attack. Next, I'm going to be showing you guys how to use ultimate abilities to invincibility frame your character and negate all forms of damage. As you see just now, that character thrashed right through me, and I took 0 amount of damage because I was in my ultimate animation. As you see right now, 2 of those Ronin were about to dash into me. After I exit my ultimate, we can see that they're now behind me, which means I successfully dodged their attacks. As we can see, the Ronin is charging up right here and is able to dash right through us.
Toast!
Boom!
Race you!
And that wraps it up for today's video. I know a lot of people in the community wonder how snapshotting is working, and across all the videos I've seen, none of them have been able to clearly explain what snapshotting is and how it's done correctly. I also wanted to add an Invincibility Frames into the guide because that is also another mechanic I've mostly used during my Spiral Abyss runs. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.